welcome back. Welcome back to the podcast Mind Your Language. We haven't been doing anything for a while. There are reasons for that, and to be honest, I was really busy during the first 2 months of 2025. But we are back, and today we're going to talk about the IELTS exam. My guest is Arina Fadeva, an IELTS expert, and Arina will tell you everything you need to know about IELTS, how to get ready, how to avoid wasting your time, how to avoid making mistakes, how to get the result which you need, and get the best score. Not to miss any further episodes of this podcast, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to leave the comment and press thumbs up button, and of course let us know in the comments if you have any questions after watching the episode, and of course if you need the best preparation ever, turn to Arina. Let's get started. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Because of my profession, usually I ask questions, but being the one who should answer questions is like some new experience to me. So yeah.
I'm honored to be the first.
But it's my first official podcast, so yeah, it feels great.
Let's begin with the introduction. Can you just introduce yourself for the audience? Say what you do, where you work, how you work, everything you want to say.
All right. So my name is Arina Fadeva, and I've been working as an English teacher for my whole life. And actually, when I started studying and getting my major in teaching, it was my side hustle. So I started working as a tutor, but it was just, helping students, school children with their homework, something like that, not really official. Then I was working as a general English teacher. I have some experience of opening my own school and working at a state school for 1 year. Actually, it's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about this. And then I guess in 2012, I decided to change my niche. And since then, I've been preparing students for the IELTS exam. So it was only IELTS academic, but when like I started having more students with the general IELTS request, I also studied a little bit with this format, and I also help people to immigrate, but I only work with C1 level students. So that's basically what I've been doing, helping students to prepare for the IELTS exam. Yeah.
What made you make this choice? Like, why IELTS? Did you take it first? You saw the opportunities in this field? Like, how did you come here?
Well, I'll be honest. I was really tired of doing the same thing and working with different levels. So I would have one class with A2 students and then another class with B2 students, and I would have to change all the time. And so I didn't really like this, and I wanted to change something. Plus, I also had some students who would leave for no reason, but now I understand why, because learning languages is difficult and people are afraid of difficulties, and they would just, ghost me or something. And I got tired of it because I'm the one who like is goal oriented, and so I'm an athlete, I'm a sports person, so I love struggles. I love just, gaining experience. I love, pursuing something. And I wanted people to have, I wanted some people who have this particular goal. And IELTS is one of them. So I had one student, by the way, she took the exam the second time last year, and she came to me like 10 years after she took her first IELTS, and she was my first student. So she said, I want to take IELTS. She was, I think it was her 11th grade or something, yeah, she was at school at that time, and she needed something like 6.5, I don't remember, but like a basic score. And at that time there were only paper-based tests, and you could register like, I don't know, 2 times. Like today, you can take IELTS every day. At that time in 2012, we would have, I think, 2 sessions a month. That's it. And it was like on Saturday, only paper-based format. There was no computer test whatsoever. And we would register and then wait for our results for 2 weeks. And it's still the same if you take the paper-based test. And I took IELTS with her, along with her. I was sitting in the same room because I had some kind of this imposter syndrome that, like, how can I teach if I don't know myself what this test is like? But at that time, it was really great in terms of the scarcity of materials because we didn't have that abundance. We didn't have that what we have now. I don't think that Instagram was on that level back then in 2012. Like,
It wasn't.
and I read the band descriptors, which are on the official IELTS website. Then we had that IELTS Simon website, who is an ex-examiner, and his advice is great, by the way. It is still great. You can go on his website, but one thing I don't like about him is that he writes his own model answers and he says it's band 9, but it's not band 9. It's like, okay, it's a 7, it's a 7.5, right? It's like a great sample answer. But you can use them if you are B2/C1, like C1 low. These are good for you. But for someone like me at that time, but I was like, I was too confident. I thought like, okay, I can ace the test, but no, it wasn't like that. So I took the test, and I'm still kind of really surprised why they gave me a 7 in writing, because I was like, I knew nothing at that time, so I was just following instructions, which is good. Um, but I don't know. Today, this level of work would be, this level of writing would be 6.5, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because, the world is evolving. English is evolving. There are more requirements for each level. So C1 back then is B2 today.
They have
Something.
been changed since then.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you read the descriptors of these levels, if you take CEFR of 2001, for example, and compare all the descriptions with what they have today, I think they renewed this CFR in 2023 or something, or 2021, like recently, relatively recently. So, and you can compare how much B2 has to show now and how much C1 has to show now. Like, I think these kind of boundaries were like shifted a little bit, and yeah. So there are more requirements these days.
Oh my gosh, it puts so much pressure on the students.
Yeah, and then I fell in love, with IELTS preparation, and I liked people. I liked motivated students. Well, not all of them, but I mean the majority. They would come up really motivated, and like, of course, I made some mistakes working with A2 level or B1. Like at that time, I thought like I believed in my students, and I thought like, okay, so you can do this, but they couldn't do this. So like eventually I decided to work with B2 plus only, like B2 high minimum. This is my minimum requirement, because now IELTS is like complicated. Of course, they changed the test. If you compare the tasks they used to have in 2000, I don't know, even 2010, and today, like, these are completely different things. So yeah, even C1 struggles with this test. So if I look like how C1 struggles, how can B1 get a 7 in 2 months? It's impossible. No.
There are some teachers who claim that it is possible, and maybe they are like I don't know. It's not the way they cheat, finding this ways out, long preparation, What do you think?
I can't say like everything is possible in this world, and there are students with B1/B2 who can score a 7, but it means that they've been working days in, days out. Like, I mean, it's like if you are ready for this, not everyone is ready for this turmoil. It's like it's impossible. I would hate English after this. I would be like, absolutely reluctant to study anymore. But if we imagine that people have to go to some university and write research papers there, how much pressure is that? Like, I mean, exams, these are just small things you have to do compared to what is waiting for you there. But now they have ChatGPT. I don't know. They can do this with ChatGPT, and there's so much pressure. How a student with B1, even if they get a 7, all right, they die and they get a 7, all right, then they go to university. Is there any social life with this level? How can they, I mean, get lectures? How can they write long, I'm sorry for my French. Okay, how can they write long ass papers? I'll just say this if I'm allowed. I'm sorry. 250 word essay compared to what they have to write in universities is like something absolutely out of this world. And if some teachers claim this is fine. I mean, this is their responsibility, but I don't want to be responsible for a person's future because this is too much. And I can't draw this picture and like let them be in their rose-tinted glasses and see the world like they're unicorns and everything's going to be fine. It's not. So that's why I'm trying to show the reality.
I guess when it comes to the exam preparation and taking an exam, it's vital to be realistic about your
Yeah.
own skills and your level, what you can do, what you're able to do. ChatGPT, by the way, just I don't know, came to my mind. Is there anybody? Have you heard of this? Somebody who is preparing for the exam with the help of ChatGPT instead of a teacher.
There are a lot of students. Yeah, I think it has great advice if you need 6.57, 7 maximum. You can still learn some basic collocations, but I guess it will not prepare you for an 8 or an 8.5 because you need to have a lot of background, you need to have a lot of life experience for this. And ChatGPT will not be helpful here because, okay, let's take like a very classic situation. A student has B2, like B2, mid B2, low B2, nah, mid high. Yeah, like B2 from 2025, let's say. Like in this case, it is really helpful. They can give some instructions, some really accurate instructions to ChatGPT. Like, give me an example of a Band 7 essay. It will be a Band 7 essay, but students don't really know little nuances, little things that examiners are looking for. And it's really hard to analyze because sometimes one preposition, one comma, one spelling mistake. Because of this, you will be marked down and you will have a 6.5 instead of a 7. So there are little things that students might not be aware of, but ChatGPT will be a great help, a great example for 6.57, I guess, like 7 maximum. In terms of speaking, I don't know, it's really every student is different, and how can ChatGPT help them? I mean, how can they give feedback? If they can give feedback on their pronunciation, on their intonation and certain sounds, then it's great. I've never tried this. I don't know.
Well, probably we should check. That's interesting if it can do that. Just I've been learning a new language for me recently. It's
Mhm.
an Arabic dialect. It's Algerian, and I've
Wow.
seen several videos like this Algerian native speakers talk to ChatGPT, and it responds in Algerian dialect.
Yeah, ChatGPT is pretty smart, and yeah, you can do a lot of things. It can help you, or they can even score their essays because it's like pretty expensive to pay someone and get feedback like that, like every band descriptor. Like the students don't understand, for example, task achievement, task response. They don't know how to do this, but they can ask ChatGPT. So we will definitely give them some feedback, but it will not be 100% accurate. Well, if examiners have different opinions, ChatGPT can also be like pretty basic in this. Yeah.
This is the follow-up question to that. Do you think that it would be better if essays and speaking tasks would be assessed by AI instead of people? Because from your blog as well, as I see, the assessment is really subjective. I can't wrap my head around it. Do you think it will be more fair and just more relevant?
In some cases, yes, because whenever I have some sessions with different examiners, they also give me like completely different feedback. Some examiners highlight this, some examiners highlight that, and like it all depends on their taste. I don't know, like how they imagine a person with C2 level, C1 less C2 level should sound, should write. It's like their own personal assessment. I don't know. But when it comes to ChatGPT, I think it's not that subjective. And well, it's I don't know what to say. It's like it's a hard question here. Mm, I don't know. I don't know. But a lot of examiners, they have one thing in common. When they highlight something, they say, well, listen, you have this thing here. It's not a mistake, but it doesn't like something is off. And me, an examiner, will mark you down for this. Like a regular examiner will just say it's fine. We know that she's not a native speaker, and making such mistakes for a non-native speaker, it's fine. Even native speakers make a lot of mistakes, so they would be like fine. And whatever I hear, a mean examiner will mark you down for this. So it means that there are mean people like everywhere. So it all depends on their personality, or I don't know, if it's sunny today, if it's not, maybe their wife left them or their husband left them. I don't know, like what kind of mood they have, what kind of mood they are in when they're scoring your or marking your essays. In this regard, I think ChatGPT is fair. Like it's like it doesn't have any emotions. I hope so, and it's not like subjective. And I feel like they might be already using some AI because in June, since June 2024, like it was official that computer-based test results come in 3 5 days, but some results were coming in 2 days. So I remember getting my results in 2022 in 2 days in Turkey. So I thought like, whoa, 2 days. So like, and now I think 90% of my students get results in one day, like next day. Sometimes they say the minute I stepped out of the center, like 24 hours, and then I get results, like 24 hours, like sharp, and then they get results. How like, I don't think it's possible. I don't think they hire more examiners. And so either examiners are pretty fast with this and pretty sloppy, so they might like be not really fair in their assessment. This is one problem. Another problem is like, what if it's AI? So when they're testing some AI. Another problem is that I kind of know something about examiners' work and their payment and their like how stressful it is. And a lot of examiners, like a lot of former examiners, they say we are overworked and underpaid. I don't think they hired more examiners for this because it's a side hustle for many. And I even compared like the amount of money they make with the amount of money I make, and I make more. I mean, like nobody can survive, or if it's your main job, I don't think you're gonna survive, especially in big cities like London, for example. No. That's why it's a side hustle for many examiners, and they're doing this for some experience, and I think then they just They say bye when they know all the band descriptors, all the secrets, and they just start their own business, making more money on this. That's just my personal like perception of this. I'm not saying that it's true, but it's just what I think.
Hmm. Okay. So, and that's pretty interesting talking about the level assessment in general. Do you believe in this like levels, CFR, CFR? Always have the problem of pronouncing this. Language is so chaotic system. You can put it in a box and put it in this level boxes and like, okay, you're B2, 100%. But it is not possible. I mean, do you think we should eventually get rid of this classification, or it still helps in most cases? What's your perspective?
Well, IELTS is a placement test and it has its like very clear purpose. It's called IELTS academic. So it checks academic skills and it's like very narrow. It doesn't really check if you can go to a bar and order a drink. Because I know that language is a very diverse thing. Sometimes you can talk about um, land depletion, what else, like deforestation, but you can't have small talk with anyone. This happens, I mean, but it's just because this test is designed for universities. It is designed to check your skills if you are eligible to comprehend information from lectures, if you can read long ass texts, I'm sorry, boring scientific texts and understand something, understand the writer's perspective, understand like at least something out of it. Then in writing, you should be able to work with statistics because when you're going to write your research paper, you are going to work with statistics. Even though if your major is connected to psychology or languages, for example, you will still have to do this. Then you should be able to develop your arguments because when you write some paper, any paper, you should develop arguments. You should be able to, read a lot of books and then summarize them and then give your perspective on this. So this is what IELTS checks. But in speaking, they check both. They check small talk and they check your ability to talk in academic environment. So and also this ability to speak clearly and to answer questions. So this is why they kind of pigeonhole people in this A2, B1, whatever, because like, I mean, native speakers don't go to universities. Do we go to, I mean, we go, but there are not so many Russian people who go to universities. It's not like for everyone. Same in other countries, same in Britain, same in the US, because they can't afford it. It's like pretty expensive. And some people, they're happy to, I don't know, to work somewhere else without going to university. They don't even need this. And so this is like, that is why IELTS pigeonholes people, because if you are an international student, how can you comprehend what is going on there at universities? Like they check if you have these skills. That's why a lot of universities, they even have this requirement B2, but B2 is 5.5, 6 and 6.5. This is all B2. So if you like, I mean, if you get 5.5, okay, this is like you passed, go. Um, that's what I think. So in terms of exams and particularly IELTS, it's fine because they're designed for this. They're designed to check some candidates' skills. That's why. But in terms of language, I think it is something that will never fathom, will never get 100% because it's like it's so diverse. It's really diverse.
I'm doing this translating course now, just one
Hmm.
semester at university. And on Wednesday, we had a class with the teacher. He's like a translator, and he did Celta, Delta, TKT, all this stuff. And he told us, like, do you want to check your Russian level? Do this RKV or something. I'm not sure. Russian as a foreign language test.
I know what you're talking about. Go on, go on.
Yeah, a foreign student is supposed to be able to talk about Pushkin's work in the perspective of something, I don't know, the context, the narrative of the era, whatever. And
Yes,
like, who is able to talk about this? I don't know anybody.
exactly. Exactly. Even though you have like a lot of experience and you have education, I don't think I'll be able to answer this question spontaneously. That's why a lot of people are mistaken. They think if this is a native speaker, oh, they would probably score a 9. Oh, no, no. Native speakers in general, their level is like 6.57. So well, of course, listening, reading, they might be nines there because like I don't know, like it's pretty easy for them. But one native speaker actually, he texted me and he said, when I just checked what IELTS is about and when I read one text, I realized that like he has a language degree. Yeah, he's like an educated person, and he said, I don't know, like maybe 20% of the words they use in these texts. How is an international student, like, how are they going to understand this? And I said, yeah, there should be some percentage of words that you don't understand, but you have to guess. You have to, like, it's your language feeling. Yeah, but sorry, I'm digressing. In terms of exams, I do agree with you that it's like higher scores in IELTS. It's like, on the one hand, it's pretty subjective, and you probably have to be born under a lucky star and just, or I don't know, check Mercury retrograde and then take this test and maybe you'll get a 9. I don't know. It's like that, really. It's like a chance. But on the other hand, you have to train a lot. Even if your language skills are pretty good, you still have to be able to practice speaking spontaneously on crazy topics. And there are no right or wrong answers. You are just giving your perspective on this. And like, can you imagine? I constantly listen to podcasts with scientists, with, I don't know, Stanford professors, and they are requiring that level of thinking and that level of speech from us to get a 9. Can you imagine this? I mean, it's
Oh
unfair.
yeah, I mean C2, I think people just don't need to set these goals for themselves unless they are doing PhD or something. Because C2 is, first of all, what kind of C2 you want. Like, when I was hearing about this Russian test, I was like, okay, my native level of Russian is like of 15 years old person.
Yes, because your content is probably in English and you speak English more than you speak Russian. What kind of Russian do you use every day on a daily basis? You just go to a store or you talk to your mom or you talk to your friend. It's like B2, it's like basic B2 conversations. Exactly. I have like the same feeling whenever I speak Russian. I'm like, oh my God, I sound dumb. Yeah.
I actually, when I started this course at university, I realized that I have to get back to reading in Russian because, oh my God, I'm losing my vocabulary and I'm not able to address my thoughts in a proper way. And I'm like, I'm ashamed. Okay, let's get to
Yeah.
work, girl.
Exactly. I had that secondhand embarrassment. I had that embarrassment when I started working more with students than with school children. Whenever I would have students from Moscow State University, Higher School of Economics, Hanov University, Gimo, of course, my favorite. And whenever I would listen to their speech in Russian, I would be like, can I speak English only? Because my Russian is not good. And when I was listening to them, I was like, oh my God, they speak so well. They sound so well because they study at university, they read a lot, they speak a lot, like, and they talk about academic stuff and some science, scientific stuff, and all that kind of things. Yeah. Great that you're going to read more. I kind of miss reading in Russian, and I've been thinking of rereading Tolstoy's War and Peace, or like everybody's like about Dostoevsky. I mean, on Instagram, foreign Instagram, loves Dostoevsky, and so I was thinking of reading it because how could we read this in the ninth grade or something?
I have
It's
no
like,
idea why it is even on the curriculum. Like, what are you thinking about when
yes,
you're 15 years old, 16 years old? No,
yeah,
you are not able to understand this. And even if you are, but you just don't care about these things.
exactly, exactly.
It's a good idea to reread some school program books. And I've
Mhm.
got my friend gave me Master and Margaret. I think I hope maybe this year I will start. Now I'm reading Saltykov-Щедрин. I think I've never
Oh, no.
read anything by him. Yeah, so pretty interesting, and it's Господа Головлёвы. Maybe quite relatable to our modern life. This is
Mm.
something great about Russian literature. About when they talk about Russian culture and Russian people, it's always you can see this in your everyday life. Doesn't matter which year it is, it's still the same. Understanding the levels and knowing what each band is really about, I think it's one of these misconceptions about the exam. Are there any other myths or some misconceptions that you regularly have to deal with, and your students come to you with this background?
So one of them, I think one of the most widespread misconceptions about IELTS is because of this aggressive marketing from schools, is that you can get A7 with A2 level in 2 months, and a lot of students have this misconception. Or, for example, they did a course, some course which was written by the first link from Google, and they did this course. They took the test, and then they were not inspired by the exam, but by the results. And they text me and they say, "What can I do? I have like five, so 5.5. I need a 7 in a month." Like, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. Or I have to unteach some of the things that they've been taught recently. Or like the worst thing is when a student with C1 level, a pretty good student with like great language skills, they were taught like the program they did, or the course they did in IELTS, it was designed for B1, for example. So when C1 does some course for B1, they can get a 7 in writing, they will have a 6 in writing, not because of their level. It's just because they got some, I don't know, pretty bad strategies. Not bad strategies, I'm sorry for my language, but I mean, for them, they're bad and they ruined their score. So these strategies are fine for people with lower language skills because there are some things they can do already, and it's possible for them to write this way, to write some basic things, and it's okay so they get their sixes and they forget about it because they will not get more because of their level. But when you can get more because of your level, and I have to unteach this, so I waste at least 1 month on just telling a person that you should do this instead of this. And so they are trying to rewire their brain, and then it's a big risk when they go take the test, and they usually have 2 months. So this is like a lot. Sometimes they have 1 month. And I don't know how their brain is going to work under pressure, because when you write listening, reading, and then you come to writing, you're tired, you're worn out, and your brain can do anything. What if it goes to to some old settings and they can write like they had been taught before? What if they write like I was teaching them? It's great. So, and it's a great risk. So this is one thing. Schools, marketing, teachers who don't know what they're doing. For example, there could be teachers. I mean, it's okay if they teach B1 and like sixes, fives, it's fine. But when teachers don't know, don't have their own level on that level of IELTS, like eights, 8.5, and when they are promising sevens and eights when they are not of that level themselves, and they have never taken IELTS themselves, that is bad. They are also going on Google. They are just teaching students by the first link in Google, and it's a lie, actually. Another misconception, since I teach a lot of C1 level students and teachers, because like the majority of them are teachers, and I'm not like trying to be rude here. I'm just giving you the reality check. A lot of teachers text me and they say, well, I'm an English teacher. 1 second. IELTS is designed for universities. IELTS is designed to check your academic skills. If you're an English teacher, you're teaching. You are good at methodology. You're good at I don't know, building skills. So you are it's a completely different thing. So when you're telling me you're an English teacher and you say like, can I get an 8 in writing in a month? No, because when was the last time you took any test? 10 years ago. When was the last time you wrote an academic paper in English? Never. Like, okay, academic writing, it's one thing. When was the last time you wrote something? Writing as a skill, like there is no writing in your life. You probably speak, you probably listen, you probably read, but you might be reading something great, something for your language development or for fun. IELTS reading is not for fun. It's boring.
Not at
It's
all.
complicated. You're not
Not
reading
fun.
texts about building bridges or about ant houses, right? So on a daily basis, I mean. That is why I'm trying to explain to many teachers that IELTS academic is like, it's not like, yes, it's great that you have English skills, but it's a little bit different. And also, you might be working with low-level students, and you might be having a lot of low-level mistakes from them. And whenever I listen to teachers, like, I mean, they speak, their pronunciation is great, fluency is great, but they have a lot of basic mistakes in grammar, which means that they've been working with people. And like, I also have this kind of thing that I copy people, and I can copy good things as well as some other things. I can copy mistakes, and I know this, and teachers are not aware of this. And like when I tell them about ending s, when I tell them about what I feel myself, something about this, like very Russian mistakes, or they say trainings. Yeah, so training sessions, training is always singular. Advices, oh my God, yeah. So, and when I tell them that you will not score more than a 7 in grammar here, so it means that you will not score an 8 in speaking. You will have to work on your grammar. You will have to work on articles and control them in your spontaneous speech. So there is a lot of work. Some teachers get offended and they never come back. All right. some teachers listen to me, they understand this, and they say, okay, I'm ready to work, I'm ready for this struggle, whatever it takes me. And some teachers are also like, we all have this very bad quality. We like to compare each other, and a lot of teachers are very upset when they see some very high results. I have a lot of students who are not language teachers, and they have 8.5 overall, and they have 8.5 for their speaking, for example. Or I have two people with 8s in writing, but it was general IELTS. They are not English teachers, they are just people. And when they see this, they're like, how come I'm like a 6.5 in writing and this person is not even an English teacher and he scored more than me? It's just because this test is not about teaching. It's not about methodology. You're really good at this, but this test doesn't check this. And so this is also one of the greatest misconceptions, that if I'm an English teacher, like it equals that I can score an 8 overall, or I can score 8s in all the sections of the test. It's like one of the greatest misconceptions. The third misconception about IELTS, I don't know. Oh, of course, like the thing that I've been frustrated about for a long time. They're actually not playing by the rules. It's all kind of business, or it's like all industry, and they're just making money on our insecurities, on our I don't know. Well, they know the requirements for immigration, for example, that you need to score 8777 for the majority of programs, and 8 in listening. Sometimes your test will be like a little bit faster than a regular test. I experienced this, and a lot of students like said like, oh my God, what happened to listening? But some tests are fine. They are exactly like in Cambridge books, like with all the same speed and like, yeah. And they're pretty not easy. I can't say again easy or hard. It depends on your level and so on. Like, but I mean, they are doable, and a person can score an 8 in listening. And immigrants are mostly like regular people. They're not teachers. I mean, their level is usually B2, so we push them to C1. But they go take the test, and they get that test, very test, with higher speed than like with the speakers speak just faster, and they get lost because they don't know that this might happen. So this is what IELTS lies about, and they definitely do this because I myself, I got different types of tests. Sometimes listening was fine. Sometimes I felt it was really like 1.25 speed on YouTube, approximately. And for a person who doesn't expect this, so he might be good at listening, but he won't score an 8, and he will have to retake the test. Another thing with writing, you know that like sometimes we request the EOR, the inquiry on results. So we ask them to remark the test, and sometimes 6.5 is changed to 7, and they need a 7, for example. And I think that like it might have been on purpose, just to mark it down a little bit, that a person will go and retake the test because the requirement is 8777. Well, 7 for speaking is doable most of the time, yeah. Another thing that Cambridge books don't publish the real task 1 tasks. So maybe you've seen some of the crazy tasks that my students got at the real exam. So sometimes they are like, it's even if I go take the test, I mean, I can write it, but if some easy task, I can just write it and get an 8. But that task, I will get 7 maximum. It's just because of the complexity of this task, and like you have to write it, you should write it in 20 minutes. You will not have the time even to finish this task. Even like even if you have all the skills, even if you have like a lot of practice, you will definitely go and retake the test. So this is
Yeah.
like what they've been doing. They are lying to us, and then I hate this about them. And the misconception is that people think that IELTS is a saint. I mean, they think that, oh, it's such a test. It's the best test in the world, but it's just constantly making money. Yeah. So I hope IELTS will not ban me for these words. I'm sorry, but I'm just being honest here.
Well, it would be great if somebody from Cambridge listened to my podcast, but I think it's unlikely. Have you ever thought, I think I know the answer, of quitting this and changing your main thing?
Now I'm just probably thinking about it. Like I have some students from the previous year and I have lessons with them, but I stopped teaching groups and teaching individual one-to-one lessons. Just for now, I need some time to breathe and I just need some time to just to listen to myself. What do I want to do in the future? Because I don't want to teach like I'm just doing this, all right, let's do this, let's do that. I want to get that spark in my eyes. I want to get that spark back. And IELTS like killed it. IELTS ruined it because of like a lot of things. Another thing that they did was, for example, my student would get like 666 everywhere in writing, and the overall for writing is 6.5. How come? Like, but we're happy it's like up, not down. But there are a lot of situations when it's down. For example, when it's 777 and 888, it's 7.5 overall, but it's a 7 in their certificate. And these situations happen, so we don't know how they even I have one um like my fellow teacher, and he got all eights in writing, and he got 7.5 overall. How is this even possible? Task 1 888, task 2 888, overall 7.5. How is it even possible? Either it's a mistake from the center which sends us the breakdown, or again, IELTS is doing something for people to come back and take the test again. So I don't know. That is why IELTS just undermined my trust, and I'm not sure I want to like work with it in the long term. Of course, I'm going to do something. I'm going to teach people. So if people need 6.57, why not? I can help them out. But I'm not sure I'm going to work with higher scores because they are constantly marking us down and we have to, remark them again and again. And I'm a little bit tired because, again, the test is not designed for eights and nines. The test is designed for 7 maximum. And like for them, a 7 is already very good, is already above the average. What do you want from us? So I understand their side, I understand, but people are they are overachievers, they want more, but it's the system. Just you're legible, you're not legible for the university. If the university says 6.5, great. If the university says 7, great. If the university says 7.5 is my student, she got into Harvard last year. So her requirement was 7.5, and there was like nothing about separate sections because some universities require 7 in writing or 7.5 in writing. In Harvard, it was just 7.5 overall, and you can do 7.5 overall. So if Harvard is 7.5, so 7.5 is the maximum, the maximum, the maximum of whatever. But people come to me and they want 8s and 8.5s and 9s, and I'm like, I was that kind of person myself back then. Now, when I know all the system, when I know like everything, all the ins and outs, so I don't want like, I mean, it's great if I get a 9, but will I be happy? No, because mm, I mean, it's a test, like just for 7 and 7.5 maximum, guys. So that's why, again, maybe it's wrong to blame this. test. I don't know. Giving myself some break for now. And I want to just, do some fun stuff, get back to my hobbies, travel. Of course, I'm gonna be on social media. I'm gonna maybe post even more because I have more time for this. I'll see. I'll see if I have this feeling that I miss IELTS, I'll get back. If I don't, I won't.
I think a lot of people wonder how to become an IELTS trainer or an IELTS examiner. I remember like the first time when I took IELTS 2021, I was checking this information because after taking the exam, I was kind of inspired to help people. And I was like, maybe I want to become this expert or even an examiner. I was trying to look for information. I don't remember if I found anything, didn't find any course or whatsoever. So, is there like a special school or there are some teachers who give this course how to become this expert and start preparing? And maybe you can give some pep talk for people, for teachers who want to start or who already do that.
Now in 2025, you have a lot of options. There are a lot of professional examiners, former examiners, who can teach you. And there are people with teaching background and they're good at methodology. That is very important because some examiners, they're just examiners. They don't know how to teach. They don't know how to build skills. They will be like, all right, you just assess this and that. This is a 9, this is a 7, this is a 6. I know the difference. I just feel that. I also like I got this feeling maybe after 4 or 3 years, like I can definitely feel that she's a 6, she's a 7. Well, this guy is like probably 6.5/7, depending on a lot of factors. Yeah, I can feel that. But teaching, it's a different thing.
To be able to explain like what it entails.
Yeah, absolutely. So Olga is one of them. She's my like precious examiner. I love her. So if some teachers want to practice with this, like they can send me a message and I will give the link to their website. So Olga is one of them, and there are also Maria Malashenko is a great professional, and she's like a Delta Celta trainer, and she has a lot of teaching skills, and she's good at IELTS. She knows what IELTS is, and she is a teacher trainer. So Maria definitely is another option. I mean, in terms of teaching, well, if you text me, guys, I can recommend, like, I will probably sit and think, but that these two people, they come to my mind immediately. In terms of examiners, so if you go on their website and look at examiner recruitment or something, they have some requirements, but by the way, not all examiners take IELTS. It doesn't mean that you have to have all nines and then you are an examiner. Like if you get all nines, then you can apply. For example, Vladimir, he got all nines, but I don't think he's interested in becoming an examiner. Like he's a great professional. He's like a language lover I've never seen in my life. He's like very good. Like he's that kind of person who knows every little thing about this or that word, about this or that letter, or comma, or a punctuation mark, like everything. He's pretty good. I'm not sure he does IELTS courses, but like you can check out. But he's the one, like he's the only person I know who has all nines in IELTS. 9 in writing, 9 in writing.
I've been somewhere out of the context because your colleague Ekaterina, she also mentioned this person, but I honestly have no idea who he is.
He's like pretty humble because he's not on social media. I think, well, he has a big community on VK, but I'm not that kind of person who goes on VK. Like I even like when was the last time I went on VK? No. So he has a great community, like a big VK community there, and that's it, I guess. Maybe he has a website, but he's not big on Instagram. He's not a TikToker, and he's very humble. He's like, but he's a great professional. Yeah. So in terms of assessment and teaching how to score, I would say Olga and Maria. Um, what else? Like becoming an examiner, I think you have to email them and ask them like, am I legible? Like, can I be an IELTS examiner? I had that thought. By the way, I wanted to shoot them a message and ask, just why not? Just me ranting about IELTS, like it's I hate IELTS, and now can I be an IELTS examiner? But no, it's just like for fun, you know. I'm not talking about working as an examiner because for that kind of money, thank you. No. Um, it's like pretty hard. Can you imagine? You have like 4 or 5 hours straight, and like there are three people an hour, like, and they are going back to back with different levels, and you have to assess them. Timer, requirements, speaking all these, telling these instructions, listening to a person, scoring them. Then another one comes in, and like it's very hard, and it's not paid well. But for your experience, maybe it's yeah, it's great, but I don't think so. I wouldn't be that kind of person who is responsible for somebody's life, for somebody's decision to move or to study at university. I think like it's karma. I don't want to do this. So about examiners, like I think you should email them. And guys, don't trust everyone on Instagram or on italki who says I'm an IELTS examiner. It's also for the money. Yeah, not everyone is an IELTS examiner. And it took me like 5 years to to be with the wrong people, to study with the wrong people. And now I can tell who is not lying and who is lying. If you want to double check, send me their profile and I will tell, because I can definitely tell. Or send me their feedback and I'll see if it's bullshit, sorry for my French again, or if it's like it resembles the examiner's feedback.
By the way, is it even possible for an outsider, like just a regular student, to understand who is who and to really like how we can trust all these experts online and all the
Mhm.
schools and like is there, I don't know, a system or a list of trustworthy experts, teachers, whatever?
Well, there is no list, but there are some signs that, well, if a person says I'm an IELTS examiner, they're not allowed to say this on social media, and they sign a special, I don't know, NDA. So they sign papers, and they are not allowed to say that they're IELTS examiners. If they say I'm an ex-examiner or I'm a former examiner, maybe, but we have to double check again. So if they say I'm an examiner, bye. So then, if you are aiming at, I mean, basic scores like 6.5, I think mm, the majority of teachers will be fine. It's okay. But if your level is C1, C2, and you want to score 8s, 8.5s in writing and speaking, I think you should be looking for a person who took IELTS themselves, who have their certificates there with, well, 7.5 in writing minimum, and 8 for speaking minimum. So you should be working with these people. Then look at their experience, look at their students' results. If they're like a couple of them, it's fine. It means that it's just a beginner. If there are a lot of them, maybe this person is experienced. And then look at their materials that they're working with. Because for B2 students, B1/B2, everything is fine. I mean, you can use all these Cambridge books, all these materials, but again, all these books are designed to get 6.5 maximum. Even if they say 7.5, no, no, it's a lie. If you want eights and you are C1/C2, books are not for you. So if they open some old book, even if it's been written by Cambridge, but it's from 2013, come on, we're living in 2025. And if a teacher just gives you samples from this book, no, it's not for your level, it's not for your score. So teachers should be able to mark your writing in like they should give you 4 marks, and they have no halves. If a teacher gives you 6.5 for Lexis, it's either 6 or a 7. Okay, they have no halves in task achievement, coherence, cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range, and accuracy. Halves are only in overall scores. And so then something is wrong. If your teacher marks your writing or speaking, just talking about your lexis and grammar, it's not an IELTS expert. No, you can't trust them. Oh my God. If teachers give you lists of idioms for band 9, run. So no, it doesn't work like that. And again, referring back to what I said, that IELTS has different types of questions. They have different types of task one. Sometimes they're very strange, and I've never seen such in my life. So I just get these questions from some students' exams. I write them myself. I send them to the former examiner that I've been working with for a long time. They score it, and only then I give it as a sample to my student, because it's not like, oh, I have an 8 in writing and this is a band 8 answer. No, I can also be a 7 sometimes because of this crazy task that I've never seen in my life. And so I'm just doing this and helping students with this. But it is very, I mean, not all teachers do this. There are maybe a couple of them, or maybe 3, 5 of them that I know of, who are doing this, who are writing and give samples that had been checked by some examiners. But if they give you samples, again, a C1 student, they want 8s. If they give you samples from the internet or from books, from Cambridge books, no. What I was talking about, sorry. And also they should be able to show you the real picture with writing. So they should kind of be like they should go hand in hand with the exam, because exam is being changed all the time. We can't give them tasks from, well, of course, I know that a lot of questions are being recycled, but we should still see what kind of tasks they give now in 2025, what kind of writing, what kind of, like, there are basic kind of essay structures for each type of the question, but sometimes questions are like very different from what we used to have, and students should be able to write such essays, and you should build skills for any question in the world and make sure your student won't just fail. And yeah, what else? Okay, let's say this. To recap, I'll say that if your level is B1, B2, and your goal is to score 6.5, everything is fine. At least read something by Simon, written by Simon, who is an ex-examiner, who is a native speaker, who is an educated native speaker. At least he doesn't have mistakes with articles and commas. And he has great collocations, native-like collocations. For those who have C1, C2, and for those whose goal is to score 7.58 in writing and 7.58, 8.5 in speaking, I'd say so there is like a very narrow niche of people who can help you. Me myself, when I got stuck at 7.5 in writing for 6 years, I was 7.5, and I was practicing, I was like doing everything, but my score didn't change. And of course, I couldn't even go to every examiner, because examiners sometimes they are trained to see the difference between 6 and the 7, and they're good at this. But when a 7.5 person comes to them, they don't know how to help this person, because they've never even checked this level of writing, and they don't know what to do for an 8. And again, I faced with scarcity of resources, and I found one person who helped me. And so she pushed me, because I know she, like, I found how I did this. I found people with 8.5 for writing, for IELTS academic writing. I found a person, Anna Pahomova. Hi, Anna. Oh, by the way, she's a great teacher, but she has the same feeling about IELTS. She just teaches skills like critical thinking, like language skills, kind of designed for IELTS, but she doesn't like the system, like yeah, like I do, because of cheating and everything. So Anna is a great one. She has a 9 in IELTS, but she has 999, and her writing is 8.5. So and then she told me about that X examiner, and I was working with that X examiner. So when I see a person with this kind of result, I go to their teacher. It was the same in dancing, in wakeboarding. It doesn't mean how popular this person is, because sometimes you see, wow, this wakeboarder like is very popular on Instagram, and he does these tricks. It's insane. Can he teach me? No. Same here. Wow, this person is an IELTS expert on Instagram. They have like 100,000 followers. Wow, they're so great. Can they teach me? No. Usually these people are not on Instagram at all, and you have to look for them. And don't think that all examiners have skills to push your already high level of writing to even more. Yeah, so that was my way. And if you're that kind of person, find people with 8.5 for writing, ask them, where did you study? And there you go.
I think this week I'm gonna post this episode where we talked about this community and how important is to really share the information of who taught you. I think it's just a great reminder.
Big up to all my teachers. Thank you. Without you, I wouldn't have made it, because yeah, I had many teachers, and like I'm very grateful. Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you, Tanya, for having me. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. And if there are some questions, if there is something else you want to know about, just drop the comment, and maybe we're going to make the second chapter, second episode. Who knows?
You're welcome. Leave your questions in the comment section, or
Yeah.
yeah, and follow Tanya.
Just in case, since this episode is in English, do you take international students for IELTS preparation?
I had some experience working with international students in the US, and then when I came back to Russia, I was still working for that school, and I was mostly working with Chinese students online, but I was working for an American school back then. And yeah, for now, like I don't have international students. Well, I didn't work with them because I had problems with payment, and you know that. Now I have an international card, so yeah, problem solved.
Just who knows, maybe someone will turn to you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hit me up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching, thank you for listening to the full episode. We really appreciate your attention, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit this thumbs up button. Don't forget to leave the comment. I'll see you in future episodes of the podcast Mind Your Language. See you guys. Stay tuned.